Warm Medina High School, where tonight Jackson travels to Medina to take on the Bees. We'll have that game for you on WHBCSports.com. And the head coach of the Co-Federal League champs this year joining us right now. That's Tim Debevec in his 13th year at Jackson High School. Coach, how are you, my friend?
Good. Appreciate you having me on and doing this game tonight. It's should be a good game, probably one of our best non-league games this year.
Yeah, and congrats again on the Fed Championship. You needed some help, you got it, and then you took care of business against McKinley. And you and I talked before the season started. You're like, well, we'll see. We got some kid, and you were sandbagging or whatever, and then your kids come all the way and win another Federal League championship. And what'd you say, your 8th Federal League championship since you've been there? What was the key?
Yeah, I think – we were 4-3 in the league at one point. We knew we had to win 5 in a row to win the league. It was going to be tough to win at Glen Oak, and then obviously beat McKinley at the end, and then get some help from Glen Oak. So I told Rick I owe him a steak dinner, but this is fun. We came together. I think we went down to Florida and tried to figure out some things. At one point we were 3-3, so we've been playing well. I think we've won 14 out of the last 15. So kids are really just playing well together and getting along and having fun, and I say that all the time. You got to have a little fun while you're doing this. You're with each other a lot, and kids kind of figured out their roles, and coaching staff's done a great job. I say it all the time. We got a great staff, and what they do for our program is unbelievable. The time that they put in. So it's just not Tim Debevec. It's the players, the parents, the coaches. More importantly, pretty special place. To pinch myself once in a while, and like you said, 8 out of 13, and been very fortunate to get this job, having Mike Fuline bringing me on board 19 years ago. So
wow.
It's been fun. I've been around a long time. This is year 32 coaching. So I started out at Rootstown with Reynolds, and then went to Thomas for 8 or 9 years, and I've been in the league. I coached at Green with Kinsley and Fuline and the same staff, and we're fortunate to go over to Hoover with Randy Montgomery, and then Jack Reynolds 2 years. I spent some time at Glen Oak for 2 years with Coach DeKufis and that crew, and just a full circle. This Federal League, been a couple schools, and been very fortunate. Situation at Jackson. We had great administration, and we've had a lot of good players. Like I said before, it's not us coaching and we roll the ball out and just pray that we can win some games, but we've had a lot of good players. Sometimes you look at the pictures in my office, and we should have won 13 probably Federal League titles, but 8's pretty hard. It's a tough league, and there's a lot of great coaches in our league. So this is fun. I'm more relaxed, I think, the last couple of years than I've been.
You are, JT. This is a very calm and cool coach right now, man.
Yeah, to me, that's what a basketball coach is. And Coach, I'd imagine one of these preseason goals is already down. I mean, you win the Federal League or a split of it, big deal. I call it a championship. And so I'm just wondering now, you are a little bit laid back tonight. Is there a little bit of a different approach into a game? I'm not going to say that doesn't matter, but it's still a game on the schedule.
It does matter. I mean, we got to keep playing right, leading into the tournament. And, Medina's an awful good test for us tonight. We always put a good team at the end of our season. The one year we won the state, obviously we lost to St. V at home, and I think that propelled us to win a state title this year. So next year we'll probably put on St. Ignatius at the end, or a team like St. Ignatius to get you ready for the tournament. So, the Federal League's over now, and our next goal is to win the district title and then see how far we can go. So being tonight, you guys 2 games left, non-league games. So, yeah, we are a little bit more relaxed. But at the meantime, we want to stay healthy. We got a couple guys banged up, but we're in a good situation right now. We're 16-4, and like I said, at one point we were 3-3. So, very excited to play this game tonight. I'm pretty good friends with their head coach Hassinger, and he does an outstanding job. So, just coming out and just competing, and I want our guys to keep competing. So, it should be a good contest and a good matchup on Tuesday night.
Yeah, for you guys, 16-4, you win the Fed. You know who you're playing, in the tournament, Coach. So, as JT mentioned, do you put in some things tonight to get a look at? So you might use that in the tournament, or do you still just play the normal Jackson style that you've played to this point?
We'll mix up some things, but for most part, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I mean, I think we're shooting the ball well, and we got to do a better job on the defensive end, but our guys are really, scoring the ball. We're shooting over 40% from threes, and
wow.
Our players, are really, shooting the ball well and moving the ball. So we want to continue doing that. But we'll mix up some things tonight against this team just because they're very talented and they got a lot of depth. They got size. One thing that we don't really have right now is size. But we're going to work on some things for the tournament. Obviously, that's our next goal to win a district title. I know we've been there. Coaches were telling me 10 out of the last 12 years, and we've only won 4. So our challenge is to win a district title. Obviously last year we lost at the buzzer, and that don't set well with our guys. So they remember those things. But we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there. It's going to be tough to get there. People don't realize how tough it is to get to a district final game, and you have to play some good teams. There's a lot of great teams in our district, and with the Super C with 6 districts you can go to, it makes it challenging too. So I know Green and Mentor's sitting on the other side, and Dover and Maple Heights are pretty good teams. So for us, we're looking at 2 home games. Garrett Morgan. Hopefully we can get that one, and then we play Akron. That's not bad. So one game at a time in the tournament, but tonight's going to be a good test for us, and just looking forward to tonight and the challenge tonight for our players.
Coach, talk a little bit about that tournament schedule as far as it pertains to practice, and how far apart are the games?
We play Wednesday, Saturday. So it's not a bad schedule. We kind of, at this point in the season, want to get on rhythm of playing. I never taken the bye, and that's been good for us. We usually play 2 games at home, and then we go on the road. So you got to travel eventually. I don't like the format. We got to go to Euclid. Hopefully, if we're playing Dover, just hypothetically, if we're playing Dover, can we change that game to, like the football does, to maybe the field house? Both of us play there or Perry. Same thing, if we meet Green in the district finals, hypothetically, can we move that game closer so fan base can not travel an hour and 10 minutes? Dover's probably an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 35 minutes to Euclid High School. So, let's be smart about it. Maybe get some players and coaches and some fan base there, and everybody I think wins out of it. The state makes money. There's more crowds, and there's more people there. So let's be smart about it. So we're looking forward to. Hopefully they'll do that. They listen to the higher up in our administration. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully obviously we get to Euclid. So one game at a time.
Tim Debevec, our guest, head coach for the Jackson Polar Bears. They'll take on Medina tonight. And we'll have the game for you at WHBCSports.com. And, Tim, tell us a little bit about your team. Here we are at the end of the season. Which guys lived up to the expectations, delivered for you, and maybe some other players that I guess, established themselves as the season went on?
We've been playing 9 guys every game. Our starters have been the same every game.
Wow.
So that's kind of, keeping it consistent. Obviously we only have one lone senior with Mike Feeline's son, Anthony Feeline. He's had a great year. He's our point guard, and then we got some scorers. We got Cam Weekly's come out of not nowhere, but he's an unbelievable player. You're going to see him tonight. He does a lot of good things, taking the ball to the basket. He's shooting 50% from threes. Mitch Fenifrock, same thing. He has about, I think, 61 threes, and then Kyle Monterubio is probably, a kid that can score from everywhere. And then a kid that a lot of people don't talk about, our 5th starter, is Cole Baker, and he had 18 last game with 8 rebounds. So he's the kid, as a coach, you want, maybe see a kid to get better in the offseason. He's that kid that got better in the offseason. He's really our hard-nosed kid and makes us play better defense. And then our bench has been outstanding, knowing their role. We got another point guard off the bench with Jack Lancey, and a couple of decent shooters with Hindenreger and a sophomore, Caden Loy. And our lone big guy at 6'6", 6'7" is Landon Thiel. So our biggest, starter 6'2" with Baker and Monterubio, and then we bring a 6'7" sophomore off the bench.
JT, as I think about their program, I mentioned to you earlier, today, that is, I think of Jackson, I think of basketball and what Tim's done and what Mike did. 2 state championships since 2010, right? And how many schools would love to have that, and establishing a program, Tim, and the youth part of it. How important is that to have that pipeline that Coach Fueline started, and you've continued to bring them up through the program?
No, it's huge. I say this all the time, and we had Larry and Bosley in that group in '94 team come in and celebrate them last week and honor them. I think it started with Larry, back in '86 when he got, he came to Jackson and created the atmosphere, put Jackson on the map as a basketball school. They made it to the Final Four twice, and then Mike just took it to the next level. I say, next level is, win a state championship, and that's everybody's goal as a coach, as a program. And I got very fortunate. I got lucky to get the job, and I didn't know how long it was going to last. And when we won in 2010, we said, man, this is awesome, man. Let's just enjoy this. This might never happen again. So 7 years later, it happened again. But we were fortunate. I think kids really, they come to the game. They want to be that next group. I always say who's next in the tradition, the tradition. We've been in Final Four, obviously 4 times and won 2 state titles. But we got a great youth program. Jackson Youth Basketball Association was our booster club, and they really benefit from us, just help us out, with our program. We got 500-plus youth kids in the program, and that helps out. I think we got great kids coming, and hopefully, we can stick around and keep winning. And the next guy I think is going to be got some talent coming. I don't know when the time is for me, but I enjoy what I'm doing. But I really do. Every day, it's not like a job. It's fun. This is fun, coaching at Jackson High School. And our program, we got a lot of good people in our youth program to help out.
What a great career, man. And you mentioned a couple of things, and Coach Tim Debevec is our guest right now, head basketball coach at Glen Oak. Coach, you mentioned a name, and I got to ask you. You mentioned Jack Reynolds when he was at Glen Oak. And the thing that comes to my mind, and you mentioned Costa Kufis, you have CJ on that team, and you had a little guy named TJ Sutton. How did you guys not win a state title?
Well, ex-Coach Reynolds, I was only assistant.
Well, come on, man.
Hey, no, actually, I'll tell you a true story. The year I left and I got a chance, I'm best friends with Jack Reynolds. So I was at the Jar watching them play before they get to the Final Four, and Mike Feuerlein were sitting in the front row, and we just shook our head on, and we talked on the way out, and I told someone else the story, and Mike goes, man, I feel bad. Your goal was to get to Columbus, and, I kind of blew that for you. I said, Mike, you didn't blow that for me. But he promised me that we would get to Columbus and win a state title. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but 5 years later we won a state title. So Mike held his end up, and I coached for Jack for a long time at Richtown and Talmadge. So still stay in touch and talk to him all the time. But
great,
that was great times at Glen Oak. I enjoyed it. Every stop I've been to, I enjoyed it. Talmadge, we had a chance to get to Columbus. We lost in the regional finals. We're number 3 in the state. Had a great kid named John Maddox, averaged about 27. But, that's the goal, to get to Columbus, and that's our goal every year. This year's our goal to get to Columbus. I don't know if that's going to happen, but your goal's got to be to get to Columbus as a program. And our younger youth kids come to games, and they saw us cut down nets last Friday, and that was big to see the young kids at the gymnasium, seeing these guys look up to, and hopefully they're the next group that win a Federal League title and a state title.
Yeah, the great thing. Go ahead, JT.
Kenny, I just real quick because I have to take something back. I think I was so excited to ask that question because growing up here in town, it's one of the discussions that we all have. What was the best team? Was it the team with Raymar? Was it the team with you guys at Jackson? And I was so excited to ask about that Glen Oak team. I think I referred to you as the head coach of the Golden Eagles. I meant to say Jackson head coach, Tim Debevec.
Right, yeah. Well, here's the great thing for Tim, too. We talk about the transfer portal in college, right? And you heard, and we had Chris on earlier, and Chris is saying, look, we don't get move-ins. These are our kids in Medina. They come up through the program, and they just got one move-in, this year. He said, so we play with what we have. And the great thing about Jackson, JT, is this. Because they are an established winning program, the kids don't want to move out. They don't want to go play anywhere else. They want to win in Jackson. They want to add to the 2010, 2017, 24, 25, whatever it is, to that banner that goes up in the gym, right? So winning breeds winning and keeps the kids in Jackson, doesn't it?
Yeah, we might have lost one kid, unfortunately. But, I tell people all the time, the kids walk in our hallways, we got to get better. And that's always been our state of mind of, hey, whoever's walking to Jackson High School, we're going to keep them. We're going to get them better. And like I said, I'm sitting here telling you that we got great kids coming up, and it just seems like it just every year. We got a lot of good youth kids coming up, and we lost one kid maybe, but I can only really, we've only had one move in too since I've been here 19 years. So, the kids, we got a great school district, like you said before. We got a great basketball program, and sometimes you got to recruit your own kids, but that hasn't been the case. But we're hoping to keep all our kids, and it's a great situation. They come to our gym. We get good crowds, and we take care of the younger kids, and they know we go to Florida every year and a trip, and try to make this enjoyable experience for all these young men.
Yeah, it's been working. And JT, you see the swag I got on here? Look at that,
nice.
Debevec's Den. He's got his own T-shirts, man. He brought me one. I'm sporting it. Wait till Hassinger sees me walking around in Medina with this shirt on, huh?
Well, I got to give the shout-out to Coach Bailey. He got them for us, and just to get some more people in the stands. But hopefully that didn't hurt us. But I think we got 30 or 40 more people in the stands on last Friday night, so that was good to see. And Few Line's wearing his tonight, so he might get more minutes tonight. So,
hey, man. Hey, however you can get on the court, I'm all about that, man. So that's a coach's son. That's an intelligent basketball player. No question about that. Tim Debevec, our guest, head coach at Jackson. And, Coach, your game tonight against Medina, what do you see on film with them as you go against Chris Hassinger's squad?
We got an opportunity to come out last Tuesday to watch them live. They got some size, 6'5", 6'6", 6'4", and obviously they shoot the ball awfully well. Chris does an outstanding job over here. Same thing, he has a great youth program, but, he runs a lot of great sets, and fundamentally they're going to be sound, and just watching them on defense, they're playing solid half-court man. It's going to be a tough test for tonight. They're the teams that we kind of struggle with, some size. Like I said, they bring 6'6", 6'5", 6'4" across the board. So them type of teams that we struggle with, so hopefully tonight we can figure it out and not struggle as much. But Chris does an outstanding job. I respect him whole lot. So just getting to know him the last 10 years, 15 years has been great. You build relationships and friendships through this sport and coaching, and he's one of them that I really got to admire and look up to what he does.
Coach, as a high school basketball coach, are you a basketball junkie? Will you watch NCAA, any NBA stuff during the season?
Yes, I'm a junkie a little bit. I'm a huge NBA fan, but NCAA, and I'll go see a lot of high school sports. I've been down to the state tournament probably the last 40 years, so I just like getting out. I'll be honest with you, I take my daughters to maybe Kent State or Akron game just to go out and relax and see a game.
Nice.
Get away from, maybe no skin in the game, or just go relax and maybe pick up a set or see what other coaches are doing. But I think it's kind of relaxing. I know we go up to the Cavs game once in a while, just get up there and see some games. So it's nice to just go out and just feel relaxed. You have no skin in the game, or just kind of relax and just watch a game, maybe pick up a set or two. And I just like being around basketball. It's given me everything in my life. Obviously, my career and my wife and my daughters, and very thankful for that.
Do your daughters love the game?
I got a daughter that's cheering tonight, and she gets into it.
Yeah?
I mean, she's the one that she'll cry if we lose, but she's my sweetheart and dear to heart that, she cares, every time we win or lose. So she's always in my corner, my wife and my other two daughters. But they love basketball, too. They'll come to the games and support, and they've always been good with me. I mean, obviously, having three daughters and not a son, these are my sons out here, and they know that. I love my three daughters, and like I said before, through basketball, I've been blessed to have three unbelievable daughters, and they're such great kids. And obviously, with Chelsea last year having that situation during the tournament season, I didn't get a chance to be around, but puts life in perspective for me, and me and my wife was talking about it the other day. So I just wanted her to be healthy and be a good kid, and everybody does with their kids, and that's what we're trying to teach these guys on the basketball court, to be good kids on and off the court. And that's one reason I got into this, to maybe make a difference. I played for Coach Reynolds at Barberton Gymnasium, and I just thought I wanted to be a head coach as soon as I started to play for Coach Reynolds Sr. So it's been a great career, and I wouldn't change it for the world. This is you get to meet a lot of great people like you guys, and just coaches, and you build relationships and get a good chance to, I coached Brett Wackley at Hoover and some other great players, and they invite me back to their weddings, and it's that's the type of kids that I want to coach, and great kids. So it's been a great situation for me, and heck of a ride, man. I want this thing to end, and I just want to keep coaching and having fun with it.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. It's been working, and should be a great game here tonight between Medina and Jackson. Good luck in the tournament. I'm sure we're going to see you down the road there, and hopefully, would you tell me, district championships, this will be the 13th 11th out of 13 if you get there this year in the district final. So good luck, Coach.
I appreciate having me on, and thanks for doing this game. Hopefully me and Chris can get on after the game and have fun with some things. But, we need more people in Stark County doing games like this and promoting basketball. There's a lot of good Stark County basketball out there, and can't thank you guys enough for having us on.
We enjoy it. Your passion is basketball. This is our passion, football, basketball on WHBC and WHBCSports.com. We want to bring it to everybody in Stark County. Thanks, Coach. Always great to see you.
Thanks,
and thanks for the swag, too. Look at that, JT. I'm liking this, baby. Debevec's Den right there. Got to love that shirt.